Like a lot of you, I called that Boothworld Industries number. Alright? Before I called, I read through the responses in the thread. I like knowing what's going on before it happens. I guess I'm boring like that. It was still a sick thrill to dial in the number and hit call even though I knew what was coming. I was on the home phone and made sure to block my info just in case. Something went wrong though. You all got a voicemail, and I got a live person. Welcome to Boothworld Industries. My name is Samantha, and I will be your operator today. Name? I froze at this point. I didn't know what to say. I expected a canned message like the rest of you guys got. Maybe even the weird text. I never expected a real person to pick up. I panicked and hung up the phone. When it started ringing 5 seconds later, I left the house to go pick up my daughter Ariana from school. On the way back, my cell phone started ringing. Ariana loves the hands-free phone in our car. She likes to pick it up and pretend like it's an intercom of a spaceship and that the caller is Cyclone. I blame my husband's frequent viewing of Battlestar Galactica for this. Mommy? Ariana asked. Can I push the button? Sure, I said. Make it fast before the light changes, though. Ariana unbuckled her seatbelt and reached up between the two front seats to hit the button that would pick up the phone. Hello, she said after she waited for the beep to let you know that the phone picked up. I heard the same voice from earlier, but flat, almost robotic. Welcome to Boothworld Industries. My name is Samantha, and I will be your operator today. Name? Everything stopped for me then. The light turned green and cars drove by. The cars behind me honked. But I sat there, staring at my steering wheel. -R No Sleep is supposed to be a place for scary stories. A place where you can scare yourself a little, but be fine at the end. A place you live out your fears. There was nothing safe about the woman's voice on the other end of the phone. Mommy? I asked. Is everything okay? Hello, Ariana, the operator said. Welcome to Boothworld Industries. My name is Samantha, and I will be your operator today. Name? Ariana, my daughter said. Ariana, stop, I said. Miss Jacobs, the woman said. Please call the office when you get home. We have some remodeling to schedule. I didn't answer, and I hung up the phone and drove the rest of the way home. Ariana looked up at me as we walked up the driveway. Was that a cyclone? I smiled, even though I felt like someone had skewered my stomach to the concrete and it was still weathering around there. No, honey, I said. Cyclones aren't real. My little girl looked up at me. Her brow wrinkled and she frowned. That broke my heart. It was the first time I lied to her. No, it wasn't a cyclone on the other end of the line, but there was something lacking in the Boothworld operator's voice. Something broken, something human, something dead. When we got inside, I made Ariana a bowl of cereal and took it to her room, and I turned on SpongeBob SquarePants for her to watch, and I knew what I had to do. I typed the Boothworld Industries number on my cell, 630-296-7536. When I brought the phone up to my ear, someone was breathing on the other end. I never even heard it ring. Hello? I asked. Welcome to Boothworld Industries. My name is Samantha, and I will be your operator today. Name? My mouth went dry. I knew what I was supposed to do. Janice Hoffman, I said. Janice was my boss at work, although her voice reminded me of Fran Drescher's. Her constant exploring hands reminded me of that sleazy boss from Disclosure. On the other end of the phone, I could hear Samantha pounding on the keyboard. It sounded like she was wearing one of those cordless headsets and slamming her face down on the keys. Janice Hoffman, she said. Remodeling is scheduled for January 14th, 2022. Would you like to reschedule? Yes, I said. We have an opening on Monday. That's fine. Would you like a courtesy call? I wanted nothing to do with listening to someone die. No, I said. Are you sure, Miss Jacobs? Yes. Alright. On Monday, the 13th, we have Janice Hoffman scheduling for remodeling. Fine. Miss Jacobs? Yes? How would you like to pay for this? What the hell was she talking about? The original story never mentioned anything about payment. Pay? Yes, Miss Jacobs. When you schedule a remodeling, the scheduling is final unless another member shifts the scheduled date. We expect payment in full before services are rendered. What's the price? Ariana. The name hung in the air. Ariana? I whispered. What do you mean? The price for the scheduled remodeling is your daughter, Ariana. If you do not want to pay, we will have no choice but to repossess what's due. My blood ran cold when she said repossesses. I could hear her smiling on the other end of the phone. The first fragment of emotion she'd shown yet. What's the difference between a payment and a repossession? I asked, closing my eyes. You can earn any payment back, parts of it at least, by referring new members. Unfortunately, our repossessions are final. Why are you doing this? Ma'am, you responded to our ad on r-r-no sleep and called us. You contracted work on Janice Hoffman. Now we are at the payment stage. The cost of our work is your daughter, Ariana. You can't have her. Wonderful. Repossession is scheduled then. We at Boothworld Industries say thanks and welcome to the club. You have a marvelous day. I jumped when the phone clicked. I took it away from my head and stared at it. If I hadn't felt like I was going to cry and throw up at the same time, I would have laughed. Everything was crazy. I was crazy. I stared at my cell's display. The Boothworld Industries number was still sitting there on screen. I ran to Ariana's room. It was empty. The bowl of cereal sat on the towel I always put underneath anything Ariana ate in case she spills. Sitting in the bowl was a business card. I took a picture because I thought I was going to be crazy, and I thought that the card wouldn't be there if I blinked. When I picked up the card, it was warm, baking with wet heat. My skin crawled, and I threw it down. It landed backside up in the bowl. I heard a roar outside, and it made it out just in time to see a matte black Chevelle SS roll near the corner. I called the police. They sent out an officer and he took down all my info. An Amber Alert was issued. The waiting began. I felt so desperate, so I visited -r-Boothworld, but the subreddit was private. I got a call a few hours later. The number asked from a 917 area code. Hello, I asked. I already knew who would be on the other end. Ma'am, this is Samantha with Boothworld Industries again. Your courtesy call begins now. I hung up. My cell started ringing again. 323 area code. I took the battery out of my cell. My house phone started ringing. Caller ID read an 832 area code. I didn't answer, and I pulled the jack from the wall and sat down with my face in my hands. I couldn't bring myself to think about what was happening. I sat there and cried, feeling completely helpless. That's when the phone started ringing. My cell buzzed across the table, away from its battery, and my unplugged home phone ran louder than it had before. I got in my car and left, and I went to Walmart and used a payphone to call the detective in charge of Ariana's case. His name was Stark. After waiting for a long time on hold, Stark picked up. Miss Jacobs, he said. Have you found her? I asked. No, but we traced the number. It was a cell phone from some kid a block over from where you live. He said that he never made the call, but the carrier says otherwise. The kid says that he called the number for just a second. Here it is. Boothworld Industries, on a site called Reddit. Or Read It. Reddit, I corrected. That's what I said. There's no record of Boothworld Industries anywhere. We're holding the kid, and I'll let you know if anything happens, okay? Is that all? I asked. I just want my daughter back. Yes, ma'am. It's best if you leave this to us, okay? Alright. Good, Stark said. We at the police department say thanks and welcome you to call if you need to, but I'm sure that will be in touch soon. You have a marvelous day. I hung up the phone and it started ringing immediately. I picked it up, stupidly hoping it was a Stark with new info. A male's voice growled into my ear. The scheduled work was completed. We at Boothworld Industries say thanks and welcome to our club. Boothworld is now open. You have a marvelous day. The line dropped and I hung up the phone. I brought my hand up to my ear. It was warm with his breath.